Burmilla is an intelligent, affectionate, human-centered cat that carries the famous Burmese character and the stunning chinchilla looks. Burmilla is a breed that arose as a result of mixing a Burmese cat and a chinchilla. The peculiarity of these cats is their silvery coat. It was the silverness that was achieved when working on a new breed and, as we see, quite successfully. Because of the color, the representatives of the breed are also called Burmese Silver. Burmillas are very smart and affectionate, they attract the eyes and become more and more popular every day. Origin story. Burmilla is the very breed that turned out not by careful calculations and painstaking work, but completely by accident. The birthplace of the first representatives of this breed is Great Britain, and the place of birth is the house of Baroness Miranda Bickford Smith. Her favorites, a male Persian chinchilla and a female blue Burmese, once got out of their locked rooms, met, and the result, as you know, was logical. After some time, several kittens were born, surprisingly beautiful in appearance, with an agreeable and affectionate character. The Baroness was pleasantly surprised by this and decided to start breeding a new breed, which she gave the name Burmilla, combining two names, Chinchilla and Burmese. After 3 years, a club of Burmilla lovers was organized in Great Britain and nurseries gradually showed interest. In 1989, the beauties, white with a silvery sheen, received official recognition as members of the GCCF breeders from Australia, in contrast to English breeders, wanted to assign long hair to Burmillas. They crossed a Persian cat and a Burmese cat. Some of the kittens turned out to be long-haired. They were used for further mating and were named Tiffany, and all of these cats were called Australian Tiffany cats. At the 1989 show in Sydney, the long-haired beauties had a real triumph. Standards. The Burmilla cat is a person of medium build, graceful and graceful. Cats rarely gain weight over 5 kilograms, 7 kilograms is already a rarity, and even females, even more so, their weight is no more than 3.5. The bodies of the Burmillas are more stately than those of the Burmese and more plastic than those of the Persians. Good physical shape, fit and slenderness are characteristic of Burmillas, and fat individuals suffering from shortness of breath and related diseases are rare. Description. Head. Medium in size, very slightly flattened at the crown. The muzzle is pointed, rather wide in the upper part, which gives the impression that the cat smiles slyly. Neck. Middle length. Cheeks. Rounded, and in cats they are noticeably larger and sometimes even sag with age. Nose. Snub-nosed, small. Eyes. Wide open and very expressive, almond-shaped, often surrounded by a black border along the contour. They mole little. The color of the iris is yellow of all shades, the entire palette of green. By the way, the color of the eyes is finally formed only in the second year of the animal's life. Ears. Small, with rounded tips, slightly tilted forward. Both outside and inside are pubescent. The torso. Well developed. The skeleton is large, the muscular skeleton is compact. Massive chest area. The back is broad but short. Tail. Medium in thickness, long, even. The tip is pointed. Covered with thick hair. Paws. Of medium length, widely spaced, the hind ones are always longer than the front ones. Paw pads are oval, soft. Wool. The hairs are long and thin and feel weightless to the touch. The undercoat is dense. There are both short-haired and long-haired Burmillas. Cats with long hair resemble Persians in appearance. They have no undercoat and the hairs on the body are soft and thin. The so-called shirt front grows in the neck area. The tail is also extremely fluffy. Most short-haired Burmillas have tipping on their coat and the coat itself is very pleasant to the touch. Indications for disqualification: too shaggy coat, stocky figure, aquiline nose, different eye color. Significant disadvantages: too long or vice versa, short paws, short body, poorly developed chin, stripes on the legs. Colors. Burmillas always, whether it is an individual with short or long hair, has a delicate silvery white background on which other colors are already superimposed. According to the standard, these can be cream, caramel, blue, purple, red, brown, chocolate, the black. Allowed types of colors: black or chocolate haze, muted brown, muted lilac, tortoiseshell British, solid cream, solid black, tiger, speckled blue or black. Silver and chinchilla, only such colors are recognized by the WCF system. Character and behavior: Burmilla cats are friendly and cute animals, affectionate and non-conflicting. This breed is advised to start both single elderly people and families with children of all ages. Burmilla is one of the best indoor breeds, but it does not belong to cats that always require the presence of an owner nearby. Completely independent, she will always find something to entertain herself. Burmilla is a rather vociferous person. If she needs to attract someone's attention, she will definitely give a voice. If she does not receive due attention, she will gradually increase the volume. Communication with a person is mandatory for her. Take the time and talk with your pet for at least a few minutes a day, and she will not be extremely grateful to you for this. However, this kitty is devoid of obsession and impudence. Seeing that the owner is busy, he will sit on the sidelines and wait patiently for him to be free. Smart and able to notice everything around, Burmilla quickly learns some everyday things. For example, open the door by jumping on the handle. And having honed this skill, they can go to explore the nearby territory and go too far from their home. Therefore, it is better not to allow this. Burmillas get along well, not only with people, but also with other pets. You can easily get another cat or dog, the Burmilla will quickly find a common language with him. But for birds or small rodents it is worth watching